Who lived with a stork for 28 years. 28 years. Because the stork, the female stork called Malena, the little one, she was wounded now 29 years ago during the war, and she was shot in her right wing, so she couldn't fly. The gentleman, he took her in, healed her, but she still couldn't fly to South Africa, so she stayed for 28 years in the house of the human. And he has turned a whole room of his house into something like a living room for the stork, with a winter nest, and she had a summer nest on the rooftop, on the chimney, and a ramp so she could climb onto the roof. She only wanted to eat fresh fish, so the human had to go fishing every morning, and she would go with him. So he would fish on the shore, and she would stand next to him and just wait, eagerly. Then when he caught a few fish, they would go home, and he would prepare a plate next to his on the same table. And they would eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner together at the same table. And they created but 62 chicks in 17 years. That's above average. But it makes sense because they had everything they needed. They had all the food they ever wanted. So they raised 62 chicks. And in Croatia, everybody knows that stork love story. So we have even put a web camera in front of the nest. So mid-March we see the moment when he comes back and they are reunited.
Oh wow.
And then in Croatia everybody knows the love story goes on and we are happy. 2017 was a very dramatic year because her beloved husband was not back. And we thought after that many years, after more than a decade, the love story came to an end. And she was nervously walking up and down the ramp waiting for him, and eventually we all lost hope. So she chose another stork to be her new husband, and we were happy that she found somebody because she's not an ordinary stork, she cannot fly. And they created one egg. Then, mid-April, later than ever, her original husband all of a sudden was back. And yes, you're right. Oh, yeah, he was back like Schwarzenegger. Yeah, there is a nest. Here, to the right.
The big nest. Looks like an osprey.
Yeah, they're huge. They can weigh up to a ton, even 2 tons easily. Back, and as I said, he was back like Schwarzenegger. I'm back. Because immediately he started a fight with the other stork. The other stork stood no chance. He had to fly away. So he reclaimed his nest, but saw that one egg inside the nest. And then all hell broke loose. Because he was so jealous, he kicked out the egg and he tore apart the whole nest. And now you have seen how big they are. He tore apart the whole nest because of his anger. And then it was interesting to see over the web camera. Just 2 or 3 days later, the storks reunited. I guess they went to some sort of partner counseling or something. And the human was with them on the rooftop, giving them the branches and the material in their beaks. And they put the nest back together. All 3 of them, mutual effort, they put the nest back together. And in that year they had 6 eggs, out of which 4 chicks hatched than ever. He came back in early March when it was still snowing. So now the human lived with 2 storks inside the house. 2 storks that he had to go fish for. 2 storks that he had to agree upon the television program they're about to watch. 2 storks that slept in his bed. Average for storks. She passed away, everybody was devastated. And even the end was romantic. She waited for him to come back last year. So he came back and a few days later she passed away, as if she could control it. And then this year we were eager to see if the male stork would come back to the human, and he did. Even though no Malena, no other stork was waiting for him there, he came back and he was with the human for the whole summer. But it's just advertisement. The first one was just delivered last 2 or 3 weeks ago to Nico Rosberg. If you watch Formula 1, then you know him. He bought the first one. The car is actually just advertisement for the technology, because he now sells his batteries, his engines to Renault, to the whole VAG corporation, Volkswagen, Audi, Seat, Skoda, to Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, Koenigsegg, and he worked with Bugatti, and last year he bought Bugatti from Porsche. And now He just presented his Nevera car in the United States, in California, at that car show. And also he just got out the new Bugatti. 99 of them will be produced, 5 million each, one, and all of them are sold out. So the company is the fastest growing company in Croatia within 12 years. And the guy is 33 years old. What will he do in the next 30 years?
Retire.
Retire, hopefully not.
No.
I mean, how many jobs did he create already in Croatia, and how many more will he create? And he doesn't want to move the production out of the country.
Good.
And also everybody in his company, from the cleaning staff to the janitor to the highest paid manager, all of them have stocks in his company.
Oh wow.
You can see it much better from the ship. Both beautiful Baroque churches.
Back in
Also here
Vukovar.
you can see beautiful Baroque buildings, all under protection as monuments and restored thanks to the original blueprints being held in Graz in Austria. And here to the right hand side you can see a beautiful ruin, which is an oxymoron. But it's beautiful because of the flowers, and the flowers are a form of silent protest. I told you about how a single person or a couple would get 35 square meters restored. This belongs to one man, and the government didn't restore it because it's too big for one person. So they gave him an apartment here in the building to the left, where you can see the same flowers here between the buildings, the trees on the balcony. And the flowers are a form of silent protest of the owner. And also you probably noticed the water tower when you arrive to Vukovar. If not, once you get back to the ship, just look that direction and you will see the water tower, which has more than 600 scars from the war. And it's the only building which will